Okay, so we're going to talk about the black belt success cycle. The black belt success cycle is used mainly in the classes ages 8 through 12, which right now is called our Children's Black Belt Club. But even in Little Ninja Club or a Little Ninja class, you can recite it and have them recite it back to you. So I'm going to go through the hand motions with you, and then we're going to kind of break this down and elaborate on what it means and how you want to break it down with your students. So my hand motions, I'm going to do them just line by line. I'm going to say the line and do a hand motion, or gesture rather, and immediately the students would follow me. They would just repeat what I said and repeat what I just did with my hands, basically. So here it goes. So know what you want. Have a plan. And a success coach. Take consistent action. Review your progress and renew your goals. Okay, so let's do that one more time. Know what you want. Have a plan. And a success coach. Take consistent action. Review your progress and renew your goals. Okay, so that's a black belt success cycle. So you want to have your students repeat that back and forth with you a couple times. And then after that, especially with the kids ages 8 through 12, I'm going to break that down and kind of talk to them and use questioning back and forth to get them to think a little bit more in detail about this. So I'll ask them, what do you guys want? What do you want to do? What do you want to do when you get to high school? What do you want to do when you grow up? Some will say, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a professional football player. I want to get my black belt. That's a real big one that we can expand on. We want them to say that, right? So they give us all of these reasons or all these things that they want in life, all right? Then I'll ask them, you have to have a plan to get this. So what is your plan going to be? So they might say, I got to come to class. I got to work as hard as I can every time. I got to be here every single time. If I want to be a professional football player, I got to go to practice and whatnot. So they're going to give you all the things that they have to do to get to that goal. And then we're going to say, let's see, did I lose my spot here? And a success coach. So I'll ask you, who can help you get a black belt? Who can help you be a professional football player? Who can help you be an astronaut? Who can help you do all these things? Right? And they'll give me some answers. I'll get them some answers back. We'll kind of talk about that a little bit, because we have to have someone that can help us get there, someone that has been there and done that. That way, it's an easier road. We don't have to be the pioneers and figure it all out ourselves. All right? So, take consistent action. So I'll ask them, what does this mean to take consistent action? It's pretty self-explanatory. That just means you got to keep working, keep grinding, keep pushing, no matter how hard it gets, because it's going to get hard when you're working towards that black belt. Some days you're not going to want to train. Some days you're going to hurt. You might bleed. You might cry, right? But it doesn't matter. You have to continue to take action towards that goal. All right? Then we move on to review your progress. So I'll ask them, what does this mean? Sometimes they're not quite sure what this means, and I have to elaborate. So, for instance, if we have a green belt wrapped around our waist, do you think that that's a pretty big accomplishment? They'll say yeah. How about the purple belt? Is that a pretty big accomplishment? They'll say yeah. Let's say you're on a college football team and you want to be pro someday. Is that a pretty big accomplishment? They'll agree with me. So I'll just tell them, when you have accomplished a lot and you're halfway there, it's important to look back and see what you've done and kind of give yourself a pat on the back, because that's awesome. But we have to remember that we have to continue and we have to finish. All right, so it doesn't mean that we stop halfway through. Remember, we take consistent action. We can look back and see what we've done, but we must drive forward and continue. And the last part, probably the most important part of this, is renew your goals. So I'll ask them, what do you think that this means? Some of them will have an idea, some not. It's kind of questionable, especially for a child. So we're going to explain to them that once we hit that black belt, does that mean that we're done with martial arts? Just because we get to the NFL, we're on a pro team, does that mean that we're done training in football? Does that mean we're done practicing? Right? Just because we get to be an astronaut, does that mean that we're done? Right? Now, these are kind of silly examples, but this is what is really talked about in a kid's class. And we have to say, no, that's not the end of the line, right? When we get to black belt, that's just the beginning. We have to renew our goals. We have to find something else that we work towards, right? If you're a professional football player, by no means do you stop when you get there. You have to keep training and keep working towards something to make sure that you progress and get better. So it is so vitally important that once you hit a goal, that you continue towards something, right? So kind of going off script now, whether you want to share this part with your students or not, I think this is more of an adult-student topic here. But the secret to life and the secret to making yourself happy is that constant progression. It's a progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal, right? So if I'm always moving forward, I feel that success, that progress. That's what really makes people happy. That is really what makes people happy anyways. You hear about so many people that have, became millionaires, billionaires or whatever, and they kind of just stop and they just retire at a young age. Most of them are miserable. They turn to drugs. That's because they don't feel that progress or success anymore. So that in a nutshell is the black belt success cycle. You want to break that down step by step with your students, have that recite that back to you. And this should be done at least once every 2 or 3 weeks, because this is something that they're tested on. And when they get to the black belt, or for their black belt test, they need to know this. They need to be able to recite this and practice this, and they need to understand this in and out. Okay? So thanks for listening. See you next time.